Welcome, everybody. We are standing by in Arizona, where Donald Trump has been touring a Honeywell factory and is soon going to be speaking and being involved in a roundtable on supporting the Native American community, which seems almost laughable that these are things he knows anything about nor cares anything about. But this has been the focus now. It is get away from talking about the virus itself, talk about economics, talk about how economics, by that I mean the stock market and opening businesses, with no real understanding of actual economic policy or theory. Talk about whatever the death toll is, how he has saved us from millions more deaths. We'll talk about that in a little bit. That has been the strategy. Scheduled for the bottom of the hour. Some confusion about the scheduling because let me actually pull this up. This confused any number of people. Let me see if I've got it here. Here is Donald Trump's daily schedule. And what you will notice, unless they fixed it. Okay, so according to this, they seem to realize. So Arizona does this weird thing where I guess they don't change the clocks. So part of the year, they're 3 hours behind the East Coast, and part of the year, they're 2 hours behind. So as you all can tell, we are getting close to 4:30 p.m. on the East Coast. They have Trump scheduled to leave on a flight at 4:20 p.m. Eastern, saying that that's 1:20 local. They correctly assess that there's a 3-hour difference, but they don't seem to understand that the time that he's doing this event is 4:30 p.m. They thought it was 3:30 p.m. It's a mess. I mean, it's all of it is a mess. The point is, it's apparently starting relatively soon. You've got what seems like masked up security or Secret Service here already. Trump asked about whether he will wear a mask. Let's take a look at that video and see what he said.
I think it's a masked facility, right?
Are you going to wear a mask?
If it's a masked facility, I will, yeah. I don't know if it's a masked facility, but we're going to see Honeywell. They have done an incredible job on many fronts. And so
By the way, as usual, yelling over the chopper is a great thing.
I'm going to pay my respects to a great company and a great state, the state of Arizona.
They do make N95 now.
They make N95, yeah. And they do, and they make them good. They don't make the ones that
They make them good.
don't work, like we got sent from certain other countries. No, like other people got sent from other countries. We're making massive numbers of masks. We're making our ventilators. We have the best testing anywhere in the world, not even close. The antibody test, you see what's going on with that? That's going to be something that look, we have so much testing. I don't think you need that kind of testing and that much testing.
Of course, that's not true. Let's actually pull up the latest testing numbers, and you will quickly see we don't have enough testing. We are. So listen, I mean, I'll admit we have more testing than we did 5 weeks ago. That's good, but we still are only testing about 250K a day. We need to be at double that to then double it again, to then double it again. I mean, but listen, 500, we don't even have a conversation until we get to 500,000 tests every day. And we still can't seem to get past roughly 250, got to 298 on Friday. So Trump very, very much wrong about that, as he is wrong about many, many things. Welcome to everybody watching on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. I very much appreciate everybody who's joining me today. Donald Trump had a quiet day off yesterday, just sending about 40 rage tweets, but nothing official on his schedule. And he is back to work today. A few super chats that have come in. If you are watching on YouTube and you want to join the conversation, send a super chat using the $ at the bottom of the chat window. They'll show up in the lower left. I will read a few of them now. Kevin McComber says, doesn't mass immigration hurt American workers? I mean, listen, if you double the number of people looking for jobs, certainly that conceivably would lower wages. That's not what we have. We have extensive coverage of that on our YouTube channel. Unknown Prodigy says the new death goalpost is 100,000. I love winning. Yep, we can look at that briefly. The United States death toll now, just while we've been chatting, 200 people died of the virus. It's approaching 72,000. Remember, Trump said we were looking at 60K. Then he started saying maybe 70, 80. Now he's saying 80, 90. We heard about 100. The new IHME model says it's going to be more like 135 just in wave one. We have a Trump FEMA and CDC document, which says we could actually be looking at 3,000 deaths a day come June 1st. I mean, it's really crazy, really, really crazy what's going on. And we are just absolutely blowing past this number. Did you guys just lose me on Facebook? Did something weird just happen there? I just got a ping that something strange. Oh, everything seems to has my entire internet collapsed? That's weird. What on earth just happened? My stream still appears to be live. Oh, we're back to live here. Twitch is good. Oh, it seems maybe it was a YouTube issue. I'm not actually sure. Oh, but my restream thing is also kind of tweaking. That's really weird. Oh no, restream does say that I'm live. All right, I guess there was a momentary glitch. I don't know what happened there. Everybody says that things are okay. Okay, good. All right, we're still on. Okay, let's continue. Stephen Barnett II says, all continue to roast people, not social distancing. Yeah, today I walked to the post office, brought my mask and everything, and I walked by one of the phone zombies who's just walking like this, and no awareness that we have a wide sidewalk, you can keep your distance. I was pressed up against the wall like this, and, you know, I did the half turn and then the full turn. That's how I look at people when they don't social distance. I go like this when they get right up on me. And it worked. This person noticed what they were doing and they stepped away, and it was beautiful. It all worked exactly as planned. Seth Barham says, hey, David, thoughts on the grim new government data? 100,000 seems like an underestimate from Trump. Yeah, at this point, it seems like it's going to be more. And let me see, where are we today? Today, so far, the United States has seen, again, almost 2,000 deaths. It's 2,000 a day. You know, we had a day or two where it was lower. We can pull up our charts here. Where was that? Yeah, so we had a couple of days where it was lower. We had 1153 and then 1324. We're back up to 1,800 today. And it seems to, you could make the mathematical case that these peaks are a little lower each time. So, you know, hopefully it would lower over time. But if these numbers continue roughly, we are going to have 100,000 deaths very, very soon. You're absolutely right, Seth. Philistodal says, Messi or Ronaldo? I'm from Argentina. Of course, Messi. Daniel Rivera says, love the clean new email newsletter layout. Thank you. Oh, yeah. Let me actually talk to people about that. So we've had a very, very lame, not interactive newsletter for years. Okay. Where every day it would just go out and it was just a list of topics. You couldn't comment on it. It was lame. It didn't have rich embedded media or anything like that. Yesterday, we switched our newsletter to Substack, and it's unbelievable. People are going off. People are pulling their hair out, ripping it out, and destroying computers and musical instruments because they are just so fired up by our new newsletter. And let me tell you, Daniel, this is a transitional phase, okay? You can go to davidpakman.substack.com and sign up. It's free, okay? This is all free. We're going to have a paid we actually already have a paid option, and 5 or 10 people signed up. Right now, it's basically the show rundown. You can click and listen to the podcast. You can watch the YouTube clips. You can see everything that's on the show, and you can comment, okay? You never used to be able to comment on our newsletters. Now you can. Eventually, we are going to be transitioning this into almost like the print version of the David Pakman Show. We're going to continue expanding this. And it's going to contain more and more content, written content. A lot of people say, I would love to be able to scroll through a transcript of the show and read it on the way to work. Remember when people had on the way to work? That was a whole other universe, it feels like. But we're going to keep expanding this, and it's totally free. So you can sign up for it either at davidpakman.com, put in your email, or davidpakman.substack.com. I think that there's going to be some really, really crucial elements communicated with that very, very soon. Okay, continuing to look at Super Chats. Let's see what is on people's minds. Marcus Gillard says, keep up the good work. I'm a new member. Thank you. Oh, I haven't even been looking at whether people have been... Oh, there are some new memberships. I missed... Okay, Jonathan Joyner is new member number 1 today at joinpakman.com. Thanks, Jonathan. Very much appreciate that. Okay. Ken Clive says 45 needs to work on his sales copy among 499 other things, such as critical thinking. Danny Thompson says Trump sounds like a morbid auctioneer on numbers dead. On numbers dead. I don't know what that means. When talking about the number of deaths. Oh, you know what? I think people are going to find this interesting. Let me just show you something. So I'm still researching this. Okay, so I don't want to get ahead of myself, but a neuroscientist got in touch with me and said, David, you're talking about Trump's cognitive decline. You're talking about possible upper use or all of these different things, dementia. You need to consider the symptoms of schizophrenia. Trump has every one of these, okay? So when you talk about, look at these symptoms, okay? Trump has every single one. So semantic processing disturbances, including difficulties with lexical selection and retrieval. Trump has that. Remember the oranges of this investigation? Disturbances in priming, reduced proactive inhibition. We're going to go through every single one of these on the show in the future. On a discourse level, they show difficulties with coherently generating a narrative. Remember Trump's Dr. John Trump, Uncle John Trump, MIT rant? Difficulty generating a narrative coherently. Absolutely. Other related disturbances in schizophrenic language include neologisms, word approximation, disturbances in cohesion, vague references, missing information, and confused references. It's everything. Okay. At a syntactic grammatical level, patients with schizophrenia disorder produce sentences with reduced syntactic complexity. Trump speaks with the lowest sentence complexity of any recent president. Less dependence, should it be fewer? And embedded clauses. We talk about how Trump uses very simple, short sentences, which he often repeats, and use fewer connective markers. Donald Trump halts and says another thing and another thing. There's very few connective markers. Lastly, hold on. Where was this last part? Speech. Oh, okay. Compared with normal speech, it contains more hesitations and pauses and longer pauses, and the intonation is flat, monotonous. Again, that is what Danny Thompson is saying. Trump sounds like a morbid auctioneer when he talks about the number of deaths. I'm seeing everything there, my friends. I am seeing absolutely everything there. And we will talk about that more upcoming. Okay, Matt Chavez says, I hate that Trump is just a few miles away from me. Okay. Let's see what's going on here. Looks like things are getting closer to starting. Marcus Gillard says, what are the current testing numbers? Just curious. Oh, we just went through those. I don't know if you missed them, but we put them up on the screen. Here they are. Yesterday, 231,000 tests were done. Still about half of where we need to be at an absolute minimum. Matthias Germany says, David, do you ever had the idea to be a teacher? I taught a class at Boston College in 2017, and and I've taught individual classes as a career. It's not interesting to me. I'm happy with what I'm doing. Kevin McComber says Israel or Palestine. That's a completely black-white, unnecessarily black-white way of looking at an issue. That's complex. Kevin McComber says, make sure to read all chats before the stream ends. That's not always possible, my friend, but I will do what I can. David Belsky says, can you stop using the word triggered? I know you're trying to take the edge off the word that Trumpers use, but it sounds like a pretentious buzzword coming from anyone. Be more creative. I like triggered. I find it to be a funny word to use in the context of Trump being easily triggered. I love it. Hella Cool Guy says, has anyone really been far even as decided to use? I'm having trouble parsing the grammar there. Mr. Lieutenant Pink says, do you think nationalism will have an impact on the global availability and affordability of a vaccine, particularly if Trump's U.S. develops it? Yeah, vaccine access is a major issue. Very, very important question, which we've been talking about. Charlie says, holy cow, that schizophrenia stuff is insanely accurate for Trump. I was stunned when I saw it. Chris McCarthy says, should UBI be part of a progressive platform moving forward? I'm not opposed to that. It's an issue of what else is on the platform. It needs to be coherently a part of it. David H says, love your show, but your support of Biden is disappointing. Let's support this horrible person because this person is more horrible, doesn't work. Listen, it's Trump or Biden, and Trump is way worse, and I'm not going to help Trump win. That's just it. You're not going to get me to help Trump win. I hope people understand that. So it's Trump or Biden. I'm not going to vote for a third party that could help Trump win. I'm not going to vote for Trump, which would help Trump win. I'm not going to stay home. I want Biden over Trump. Support of Biden. Come on, dude. Give me a break. Give me a break. No says roll Eags. Love from BC. Maddie Ice PVD says, David, Trump's behavior also mirrors OCD. Unknown Prodigy says, my mommy says hi. We are watching you together. Okay. Jennifer Maddox says, Trump is the DJ Khaled of presidents. Yeah, I don't know exactly what you have in mind, but certainly it doesn't sound outrageous. It doesn't sound outrageous to me. Let me say a huge thank you to some Twitch subscribers. A beautiful way to support the streams is to sign up at twitch.tv/David Pakman. Chill SD has subscribed and says, keep up the good work, David. Enjoy your commentary. RKJ has subscribed with Prime. First Port Twitch has subscribed with Prime. And Durham Twitch has subscribed with Prime. Also, Mother Fiker, careful now, Mother Fiker has subscribed with Prime. So has Soda Champ and Rodimus Prime. Thanks to everybody. Remember, if you have Amazon Prime, a Twitch Prime subscription is free. I think you find out about those elements at twitch.amazon.com, if I recall correctly. Kevin McComer says, I'm not voting at all. Don't like either candidate. Okay, that helps Trump. That helps Trump. Jeremy Comfort says, can we do Trump bingo again? If we get back to a normal press briefing, I will do it. I don't know that the bingo works as well in an event like what we're going to be experiencing today. Insane Lane says, David, have you read either of the books She Said or All the President's Women? No, I have not. Robert Mifflin says, left non-interventionism versus right isolationism. I have so many videos about topics like that. I have one today about social democracy versus populism, which I encourage you to check out. If you were a member, you would already have full access. But let's save that for a different type of event. People says, in the words of bad tan man Trump, Fefsefahide. That's right. I've been going around. My girlfriend is really annoyed because I keep using the term Hefsefahide. And she's not thrilled with it. She's not thrilled with it at all. Okay. Has this started? No, it hasn't started. Okay, good. Somebody said it had started, but it didn't. I thought I had missed the Hefsefahide. Okay, Zach Bushman says, armchair psychiatry is irresponsible. Trump is not schizophrenic. Maybe he has schizotypal personality disorder, but none of us are qualified to say. It sounds like you've been trapped by the Goldwater rule, which numerous mental health professionals on my program have already pointed out really was created specifically for political reasons to shield Barry Goldwater from criticism, and that when it comes to a public figure like Donald Trump, the Goldwater rule of so-called armchair psychiatry really doesn't apply. This isn't my opinion. This is that of numerous mental health professionals that I have interviewed. So that's, we can debate it, certainly, but that's something important to keep in mind. Whoa, super chats are exploding. Ron says, in 2021, either Trump or Biden will be president. Not voting or voting third party won't change that. Why is it so hard for some people to understand? Why doesn't Trump understand how tariffs work? You know, I don't know the answer, but I'm doing what I can to explain it to people. Audrey Comer says Trump has narcissistic personality disorder. Kevin McComer says not voting helps Trump. You could say the same for Biden. No, if you don't like Trump, you are helping Trump get one vote closer to re-election if you do not vote. Okay, that's the important thing to understand. Andre R. says, hey, David, following you from Germany, love your show. Have you seen the Trump documentary on Netflix? No, I have not. Norwegian Trad Archer says, is it only me or is Americans really so naive as it seems when it comes too many of the comments from Donald Trump. I don't know that it's naivete or naivety, as I heard one person say it. I say naivete. I don't know that it's naivete or cognitive dissonance and or ignorance. I think that it's a combination of elements. Big thank you to Fiffy Boy, who has subscribed with Twitch Prime, SPT, Stan Momely has subscribed with Prime, and It's Desm has subscribed with Prime as well. Danny Thompson says, if the U.S. task force is truly is disbanded in a few weeks, does it signal Trump is setting up Pence to take blame for federal failures? No, Trump's going to pretend there were no federal failures and that anything bad that happened is because of the governors. That's the way he's going. Then does Trump replace Pence with Nikki Haley on the ballot? No. I don't think so. Nico Princes says, keep it up. Colin McMorrow says, for the love of God, please get together with Kyle Kulinski and debate about voting for Biden. This no Biden movement is getting absolutely bananas. I don't know what's going on. I have no idea I don't watch any. So here's what I'm either reading to prepare for the show, or if I watch YouTube videos, which I watch like 20 minutes a day of YouTube videos, I'm either watching chess instructional videos, espresso and coffee making related videos. Can you imagine how alpha is that behavior? Sometimes I'll watch sort of like sustainable, off the grid type, boating or like living on a sailboat, building an island home where you grow it, stuff like that. Or I recently have been watching The Last Dance, Michael Jordan, Chicago Bulls documentary, but I'm not, I just don't watch any of this stuff. What's going on now? What is this?
Part of the New Mexico task force that's getting together data. And so we're just really needing help in that sense. And so we don't want to lose any more of our Native sisters, our Native mothers. And so the cry is to get the awareness out.
What on earth is this? This is the Roundtable?
The missing and murdered Indigenous women and girls. And now it's hitting the LGBTQ.
Okay, we're going to keep this muted for now. We were waiting for Trump's statements at Honeywell. It looks like they must be running incredibly behind. So we're going to keep an eye on this and also on the White House feed. But this is odd. This is all very, very weird. But we're standing by. Also, the table is not round, and I'm finding myself bothered by that. Look at how they put like a little presidential seal in front of what look to be like whiteboards or poster board. It's weird. Okay, but we're gonna keep an eye on this. And we'll get to this as soon as Trump remarks start. It's like an off-center shot. I don't know what this is, but the White House stream we are still waiting for, and we will keep an eye on that. Let me say thank you to Robert Allard, who's new member number 2 today at joinpacman.com, as well as Brett Markman, who is new member number 3 today at joinpacman.com. Very much appreciate that. Let me remind you fine folks, the best way to support our work, which includes the daily podcast, YouTube clips, a TV show, radio show, live streams, new interactive newsletter, all of this stuff. Truly, the best way is put the Schwabs down and grab a membership at joinpacman.com. 3 people have done it. Memberships are cheap. We're primarily funded by memberships. We had a tragic event, actually, in March and April, which is 722 people canceled memberships because of the virus. I get what's going on. We're all in this together. We fortunately have had several hundred folks make up for it by grabbing memberships during my live streams. I don't want your last dollar. I don't want your last $2. But if you're doing okay and you value what we do, the clips, the podcasts, the streams, all of it, grab a membership at joinpacman.com. It's quick, it's easy, you get a lot of extra content, and most importantly, I will thank you profusely live on stream. And there's very few things better than that, other than hearing Donald Trump drop Hefzefahide again, which would be, I admit, if Trump did Hefzefahide again, it would be better than a membership. But short of that, memberships are the best. And we do have this coupon code here available, 2020 now. You save 66% if you apply that coupon code to a membership. Don't feel obligated. I mean, really, do not feel obligated, but take the discount down to $2 a month if you so please. Drop it even further to $1.80 a month if you pay for the entire year at once. Okay, it looks like people want to hear a little bit of what's going on here. Let's see.
Area that I guess because there's not as many public safety that you get those
Well, I'm
kinds
going
of...
to be signing something in a couple of moments, and I hope it helps a lot, not just a little bit, a lot.
Yes.
And I think you'll do a fantastic job. I know you're going to be watching it personally.
Yes.
And between the three of you and everyone else that I know so well, I think you're going to do a great job. And so go get them.
Thank you, Mr.
Go do
President.
the job. I'd like to maybe finish off with the governor. Great governor. You're doing a phenomenal job.
What a bizarre
What do you
event.
have to say, Doug?
Well, my mic thankfully is working. First, I want to say thank you, Mr. President. We're thrilled that you're back in Arizona, especially to talk these specific tribal issues. I want to say to Second Lady Leiser, to Vice President Leiser, to Governor Lewis, this focus that we've had on our tribal nations, first and foremost, around the coronavirus, with a special shout out to Senator McSally, who advocated for these.
Trump is really going out of his way to avoid actually talking about the virus, isn't he?
My best to President Nez, and I'm so grateful, Mr. President, that you took a personal interest in getting these ventilators to Navajo Nation, and I'm proud, Mr. Secretary, in Arizona, our legislature.
So as you guys can see,
Democrat
this is
and Republican,
absolute just nonsense propaganda. We're going to keep an eye on when Trump goes to this signing and statement and all of this stuff. We're going to keep an eye on it. But I want to hear from you guys. Okay. Erythropathak says, watching American Pie, Tara Reid is a great actress. Okay. Whoops, I just lost some super chats there. Where did those go? Zach Bushman says, not defending the Goldwater rule. You were right on that, but schizophrenia is a huge reach in any case. I'm not saying Trump is schizophrenic. What I'm telling you is a neuroscientist wrote to me and said, look at how Trump's speech patterns match those of schizophrenia. Elsbieta Marciniak sends a super chat. Kevin McComer says there are worse things than 4 more years of Trump, like backing another neoliberal corporate hack because at least he's not the other guy. No, that is a revolutionary mentality. I would argue that if you look at the United States, if you look at when the biggest progressive advancements have happened, they have been advancements of incrementalism working within the system. And so I refuse to do anything that will let Donald Trump choose the next Supreme Court justice. I don't want it to be Trump. I want it to be Biden. There will be multiple generations that will be better off as a result of that. So everybody can do what they want. Everybody can do what they want to do. But just understand, just own that your actions help Trump. I would respect a lot of these folks if instead of saying never Biden or, the lesser of two evils is still evil or, this sort of revolutionary stuff, just say, I'd rather Trump than Biden. Just say you would rather it, and then we can have a real conversation about what the impacts of that are. That should be the starting point for the conversation. It is accelerationist, which I believe history has shown so far that accelerationism has not succeeded. Okay, Nasty Questions says, let's hear some nasty questions, AKA real questions. Hopefully we will. Jacob Ratner says, thoughts on armed Michigan protesters? I'm against them. And I have a story about it on today's show. ASKDLUK says, will we have Trump-Biden debates? I hope we do. James Dorn says, ignorance and arrogance is a dangerous combination. Well said. Michael Kearns sends a super chat. Jennifer Higgins. Oh, Trump is signing. Hold on.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
I want to congratulate you, Second Lady. That's so fantastic.
Thank you.
And I want to congratulate you for also, because I've been in that vicinity, and it's one of the most beautiful places you can imagine. So congratulations very much.
Okay. This is like that. Really,
Thank you,
really
Steve.
bad. And holding it up. There it is.
Mr. President, what are your thoughts on winding down the coronavirus task force?
1 second, Jim.
Yes, sir. Oh, sorry.
Oh, they're going to be questions. Okay, so we're gonna keep an eye on this. The questions will be good.
I want to make sure everybody looks good, except me. I'm going to hand this to you.
Thanks to everybody signing up on Twitch, by the way. I do see them just having trouble keeping up with it all, but I really do appreciate it.
Mr. President, I want to thank you.
Go ahead, please.
I want to thank you again. I'm wearing my red ribbon in remembrance of this significant moment for missing and murdered Native Americans. And again, I want to thank you for making such an announcement today and for signing an important document to commemorate the National Day of Awareness. And I know that your administration also made another very important announcement today regarding the Coronavirus Relief Fund. And thank you for that. And to take a few moments to comment about that as well. I want to thank, of course, Governor Ducey and Senator McSally for advocating and for making sure that this is getting out to Indian country, this much needed resources as well. And so today your administration made a significant impact across Indian country. And I want to thank you for getting some of the money out today. I want to thank you also because we need help now, Indian tribes, and can't wait for that litigation to end before additional payments are made to us from the fund. And if you can, please direct Treasury to make these payments as soon as possible. And three, we need to spread the limited resources currently available as far as we can, and to avoid allocating to a very few tribes and under allocating to most others. And this means that you should include a limit or cap on the total funding any one tribe receives. And we need to have flexible guidance to allow us to use the funds we do to receive to keep our governments running, Mr. President. And the current fund of $8 billion is going to be woefully inadequate to meet our overall needs.
Well, I don't know if Trump's going to like this.
And we will work with Senator McSally and your administration to take this to the next level. And I look forward to working with Senator McSally, with your Chief of Staff Meadows, Congress, and your administration on the next relief bill, Mr. President. Thank you. To make sure that your investments in Indian country are going where they are needed the most, and in a way that shows that our governments and our economic entities can be part of that recovery that we are talking about here. That will be critical as we come out of this crisis and rebuild our tribal, state, and national economy together with Indian country included, Mr. President. I always end my my video messages to my community members. We're all in this together, right, and to continue to be Gila River strong. And I think that is how that we can continue to be Gila River strong and to strengthen all tribal nations moving forward, Mr. President.
That's good. Thank you very much, Stephen. I appreciate it. I have to say, Myron Lizer and I have dealt, and our people have dealt together very closely, and the Second Lady.
I don't fully understand.
And a lot of progress has been made, and we'll continue to make a lot of progress. I think you'll see that, and I think you're going to see it not only here, but in the future. Thank you very much, and I appreciate it very much. Thank you. Thank you, Governor.
Thank you, Mr. President.
And I don't have to thank you. You're with the administration. He has good genes, though. He's got good genes, right? The Scalia genes. You don't get better than that, do you?
Mr. President, on winding down the task force, Vice President Pence said there are discussions underway about winding down the task force. Is that a good idea during a pandemic?
Well, I think we're looking at phase 2, and we're looking at other phases. The country's starting to open up. The task force has done a phenomenal job. We have a chart that I just showed somebody. We just got it this morning as I was getting off the plane.
God.
And Governor Ducey can explain it better than anybody. When we came in, ventilators were a very, very big deal and very hard to produce. I say, but it is largely true. The complexity is sort of like building a car. We opened up operations all over the country to build them, and there hasn't been one person that needed a ventilator that didn't get it, which is amazing. And now we're helping other countries, and we're stockpiling in case some tragedy like this happens again. But this just came out on testing, because I think we are at the point on testing. These numbers.
Oh my God, what a lie.
We just released. And this is the United States, the amount of testing and our level of testing and the quality of testing.
That is literally just the total number of
Abbott
tests.
Laboratories.
That huge line you see there goes to 6 million. We have 331 million people. This guy's holding up a graph of tests. How does he still not get per capita? I think he's just gaslighting, right? Like, he must understand per capita, but he's just gaslighting. Look at that, pointing to the line.
Million tests. Germany is at 2.5. Italy is less than that. Japan is down here in South Korea, which we talk about. And again,
we have 331 million people in the country. That's a cartoon. If you read the book How to Lie with Statistics, it's by, I forget the guy's name, Stanford something, I believe. one of the things they'll say is this is exactly how you lie with statistics.
If we tested down here, we wouldn't have very many cases. You know, they like to say we have more cases than anybody, but the fact is, when you look at these numbers,
oh my goodness.
And this is the official count. Now, I can't tell you whether or not other countries are giving us the straight deal, but I can say that I know one thing. So this is the other countries.
Come on.
These are the United States, and it's incredible. Remember this, and I think it's important to say this, Jim. The quality of our test is also the best. I mean, it's acknowledged to be the best. So again, when we have cases, and we have more cases than anybody else, does anybody really believe that we have more cases than China? But they don't talk about numbers like this, and other countries. But we report everything. And
don't you want to hear from the experts?
I just want to say that we've done an incredible job on testing. With that being said, we have some additional...
This is completely Orwellian. I hope people understand. The degree to which this is Orwellian is stunning. Only to the dumbest people would they fall for this.
The task force to get this scientific expertise on this pandemic.
We will have certain people, as an example, we have hospitals that we built. We have medical centers that we built. We have people on the task force that focus on that. We have people on the task force that's focused exclusively on ventilators. Well, we have more ventilators now than anybody in the world, and we're helping France, as you know. We're helping France, Italy, Spain, Nigeria. We're giving, I think, 250 to Nigeria. We have many countries that we're helping, but the ventilator problem is solved, so you don't need that. We have now it's sort of a combination of...
Does it make sense to disband the task force during a pandemic? We have plenty of ventilators. That's the answer. And also, we tested a lot of people.
I think everybody out there, when they're being very honest, I think the job we've done on testing will shortly be, and maybe even supersede, Doug, the job that we've done on ventilators, which people can't even believe. We had a call the other day with the governors. Mike Pence took the call, and they had, I believe, all 50 governors.
Yeah, he was in the bathroom tweeting at the time, so Pence took the call.
It was, they say, the best call we've had thus far. We're working closely with the governors. They have everything they need. And if they don't have it, and if they don't need it, or if they can't get it locally, then they know that we are stocked and we are ready. And we can have, as an example, we won't need this, but we were ready for weeks to have, we had 10,000 ventilators sitting in various locations with people by the ventilators.
Notice the question had nothing to do with ventilators. It had to do with, we're in a pandemic. Why would you disband your pandemic task force, your coronavirus task force?
For the country. So I think that as far as the task force, Mike Pence and the task force have done a great job, but we're now looking at a little bit of a different form, and that form is safety and opening, and we'll have a different group probably set
so
up for that.
So they pulled the doctors out from the briefings, and then now they're going to just fire them.
This is when it's over. When it's over, Jim, mission accomplished. No, I wouldn't say that.
Are you certain you'll get the advice you need, sir? Are you certain you will get the advice you need health-wise, in a sense?
What does that mean? Go ahead, repeat your question.
Medical advice as opposed to economic.
You need
we have great advice. We have great people. We have great people. Yeah, we have great doctors. We have great medical people, laboratory people. I have to say, I think tremendous progress is being made on vaccines, which everybody should be very happy to hear. And therapeutically, I think we're making very good progress, too. We're making tremendous progress. We have the greatest doctors in the world, the greatest laboratories in the world. And I have to say,
2,000 people are dying today in the U.S.
We're working with UK. We're working with Germany. We're working with various other nations who are very advanced and doing a good job. I think therapeutically and also from the standpoint of laboratories, we are laboratories as it pertains to vaccines. We're doing very well. I'd love to see a therapeutic answer even before the...
Will we ever see Dr. Fauci publicly with Donald Trump again?
Current problem or dilemma. But therapeutically and for the vaccines, a tremendous amount of progress. Oxford, Johnson & Johnson, incredible places are doing, I think, a really good job. And they're very advanced, but we have to now see. We're going up to that very delicate final stage with a number. I think a number...
We still have 2,000 deaths a day. We're not final stage. What is this guy talking about?
Just so you know, working very closely with other countries, and whoever gets it first, my hat's off to them. We're not looking for first, second, or third. We're looking to get a vaccine that works. And progress has been made.
Mr. President, just to follow up on Jim's question, with The doctor is saying that there might be a recurrence of coronavirus in the fall. Why? Can you just explain why is now the time to wind down that task force?
Well, because we can't keep our country closed for the next 5 years. You know, you could say there might be a recurrence. And
Keeping the task force doesn't preclude you from opening. This is completely incoherent. I mean, this is weaponized incoherence. We must remove this man.
You know, we've learned a lot about the coronavirus. We've learned a lot about this hidden enemy. It's a dangerous enemy. It's a bad enemy. You see what it does, especially for people over a certain age and people that have an infirmity. If you have diabetes, if you have a bad heart, if you have a certain problem, it just, Myron, it just goes after you. It's vicious. That's right. And we're saying that people that are over 60, 65, but over 60, we're even saying, sort of stay back for a while. We recommend you staying back for a while. At the same time, with young children and children, we'd like to see the schools open early next season and on time. It's incredible how it's very unique how the children aren't affected, but people that have problems and older people can be very badly hurt, injured, or die from.
We know. Question was about the task force.
Hold on, I just want to finish a follow-up. I understand you don't want to keep the country closed for 5 years, but don't you want your advisors to keep looking at this closely the way you have?
They are looking at it very closely. They are looking at it very closely. And I just said it today. I used the word for the first time, I think, in terms of what we're doing. I'm viewing our great citizens of this country, to a certain extent and to a large extent, as warriors. They're warriors.
Warriors who
we can't keep our
may
country
die
closed. We have to
because of
open
your
our country. Somebody said, we could keep it for the next 18 months. We could keep it for the next 2 years. Doug Ducey's done an incredible job as the governor of Arizona.
This has nothing to do with Arizona.
The people aren't going to accept it. They won't accept it, and they shouldn't accept it. We have a great country. We can't keep it closed. I mean, I've had doctors say, well, why don't we close it for a couple of years? This is the United States of America.
I can't imagine many people
I
are saying.
created with a lot of other very talented people, and the people
I
of
hope
our
people listen. Let me tell you guys something. It's May 5th, okay? March 5th, 60 days ago, give or take a day. March 5th, we had 221 cases, 221. March 5th, China had 80,000 cases, and March 5th, Italy had 4,000 cases. So on March 5th, we knew it was going beyond China. When it does, it can get bad very quickly, as it was doing in Italy. And we had 221 cases, not one, not 15. That would have been the time for Trump to say, I need everybody together on this right now. We need to do a stay at home in all 50 states. Get together with me, governors. If we do this by May 5th, today, we would be in good shape. We all know how that went. Didn't happen.
Again, plan in terms of our symptoms, our cases, our hospital capacity, our ability to surge on our testing. And we're going to continue to put public health first, but we know so much more today than we did 6 or 8 weeks ago. So we believe that we want to protect our most vulnerable. Those are the folks that are of a certain age with the underlying health condition. But the first objective was that the largest places were shut down. Major League Baseball made the decision to shut down spring training. Those are some of the best weeks of the year.
Oh, my God. This guy thinks this is about sports?
Opening day. Schools are not in session. So these large gathering places have dispersed. We've been able to address the fact that we have hospital capacity, ICU capacity, and ventilator capacity if it's necessary. Today it doesn't look as it will be. So we have our arms around the public health emergency in Arizona, and the president, the vice president, and the medical experts, along with the cabinet secretaries, have given the latitude to governors to make decisions on what's in the best public health interest of their state. Arizona is not New York State. It wasn't hit first. It wasn't hit that hard. We've learned a lot from what those states have gone through, and we're going to apply it to protect our citizens.
What are cases looking like in Arizona anyway?
Do you still want the advice of Drs. Fauci and Dr. Birx? Will they still be involved even once the task force is disbanded?
Sure, yeah, they will be, and so will other doctors, and so will other experts in the field. But we've learned a lot. As Doug said, we've learned a lot.
So understand this. Yesterday, Arizona had 279 new cases. Today, Arizona has 386, right? That's about a 30% increase in new cases today over yesterday. These aren't good numbers. These are the numbers that if they stay like this for 10 more days, Arizona is a hot spot, and nobody seems to understand the numbers.
Transition, a very successful transition back into the real world. And then you're going to have a fourth quarter that I think is going to do very well. And then I think next year, I think we're going to have one of the best years we've ever had.
He'll be
we
gone,
have
hopefully.
stimulus, and we have a pent-up demand like I have never seen before. You know, today's a very interesting day because it's my first day out, and Doug reminded me of something. I didn't do it for that reason, but you said this is the first place you stopped when you ran. When I ran for something that turned out to be a very successful run. And we had tremendous crowds, remember, at the convention center in Phoenix, and it was pretty incredible. And I didn't do it for that reason, interestingly, but here we are, and it was great that you remind us of that fact. But look, we're going to have a very interesting transition period into the fourth quarter. I think
when Trump uses the term pent-up demand, it's literally wrong. I mean, what you have in a recession depression is there is no demand for stuff. I think what Trump means by pent-up demand is people are miserable that they don't have money for stuff. People would love to be buying things and demanding them in the economic sense, but people don't have money. But pent-up demand is literally the opposite of what we currently have in economic terms.
Economic standpoint, purely an economic standpoint, I think next year is potentially going to be one of the best years we've had. There's tremendous stimulus out there, and people want to get out. They want to go, and they want to go to town. This country was founded on certain principles, and those principles are at work like you've never seen before. So I want to thank you all very much. Thank you, and we'll see you perhaps at the next stop. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys. That way, to the right. Will you get it? If there's a vaccine, will you get it? Coronavirus vaccine? To the right.
What about it?
If there's a coronavirus vaccine, will you get it? Will you take it?
Will I take it?
Yeah.
If they would like me to, I'd go the first one.
If they
or
would
go the
like
last one. I don't want to waste it. But he's just saying, if there's a vaccine, would you take it? And she might like it that it didn't work too well, okay? But that's okay. I would absolutely, Jim. If there's a vaccine and if they wanted me to be first online, I'd be first online, or I'd be last online, or I wouldn't take it at all, whatever's best for the country.
All right, let's go, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, Press. Thank you, guys.
Wow, there you go. So I guess the next thing is Trump goes to Honeywell. I mean, we're still trying to figure out like what the exact schedule is. Let me pull up Trump's schedule again. It seems like everything is very delayed. So, okay. President arrives, president departs, president arrives at Honeywell at 1:55 p.m. Eastern. President is in a roundtable at 2 p.m. It's now 5 p.m. These are Eastern times at 2 p.m. So, okay, president is in a tour of Honeywell at 12:15. I think that has happened, right? Then the president delivers remarks at Honeywell International at 3. I have no idea what's going on with the schedule. I really, really don't. It's very unclear. This event was supposed to have started half an hour ago. And let's see if it's even still going or it's been canceled. No, I guess it's still. No, people are just still waiting for this event. It's really weird. Guys, I don't know what the hell is going on. I'm not going to lie. Now they've switched to an Illinois coronavirus briefing. It is bizarre. It is absolutely bizarre. Yeah, it canceled. If we have another feed, does anybody have another feed about what might be going on? Let's see. This, I believe, we had the Washington Post. So I don't really know. Oh, this is from earlier. Here's a Fox Business feed, but this is not live either. This is what we just finished watching. I guess they're delayed by like 4 hours or something like that. I don't even know. But if somebody has another feed that they want me to pull up, I will gladly do it. Let me know. Let me say a few member thank yous to get caught up here. James Susi is new member number 4 today at joinpacman.com. Jose Cruz is new member number 5 at joinpacman.com. Chad Schlegel is new member number 6 today at joinpacman.com. Also want to say thanks to Sharon Rosaire, who is new member number 7 on my website. Margie Vincent. Hey, Margie. Margie is a great person and new member number 8. Rob Jandro is new member number 9. Jared Smith is number 10 today. Rick Moser. Hey, Rick is number 11. Courtney Jones. Hi, Courtney. You are number 12 today. Michael Milliron is number 13. And I can't forget Jennifer Zahn, who is number 14 today. I believe that, Stephen Saunders, I forgot about, is number 15. Thanks, Stephen. And also Brett Markman is number 16. Wow. At joinpacman.com. Very, very popular stuff. Very, very popular stuff, as Donald Trump likes to say. Okay. Let's see here. Robert Mifflin says 51% of Bernie voters are unlikely to vote Biden. What are your thoughts? I don't believe it. I think it's most of them are going to. David Muir is interviewing Trump live. ABC World News Now. Really? ABC World News Now is interviewing Trump live. Let's see here.
Jonathan Karl, because, John, that was striking, an acknowledgement from the president that there could be lives here at risk.
And the president has said, David, that this...
Okay, we'll keep an eye on it. We still are having a hard time figuring out exactly what the hell is going on. Let's see here. Kevin McComber says, how would Dementia Joe handle coronavirus better? Dementia Joe, as you refer to him, literally wrote a book on handling pandemics as part of the Obama administration, color-coded 69-page pandemic response playbook. Trump threw it out, okay? Biden was involved in that. I can tell, Kevin, I don't vote for Biden, dude. It's fine. You don't have to do it. Just instead of asking these lame questions, just accept you're going to help Trump. Just say you'd rather Trump or you're indifferent. I would just be much more respectful of that than asking obvious questions. How would Biden be worse? I can't think of any way in which Biden would be worse on dealing with the pandemic. Connor Brenner says Governor Ducey is trying to open up some restaurants here with social distancing practices on May 11 and all barbershops on May 8. He isn't taking it seriously. It certainly appears to be that way. I see people saying different time zone, David. Guys, come on. It's like this schedule is Eastern time and then it's local. Okay. So let me give you an example. Trump was supposed to leave to go back to DC at 4:20 Eastern, which was an hour ago, 1:20 local Arizona. Are people trolling me, or do you really think I don't understand the time zones? Guys, it's right there. The schedule is Eastern and they have local time here. So when people say, David, you're stupid, this was at 11. Guys, 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. local was when the roundtable was supposed to be. It is 3 hours after that right now. Again, 3:30 p.m. Eastern was supposed to be Trump's remarks at Honeywell. 12:30 in Arizona. Come on, give me a little more credit, guys. Please, please. I'm doing what I can here. Give me a little bit more credit. I understand time zones. Okay. Oh, boy. All right. Let me say thanks to some people on Twitch. Alaska Pete has subscribed with Prime. Pensive has subscribed with Prime. Will SRX and Crawin have all subscribed with Prime. And also Rusty Knife has gifted a subscription, which I very, very much appreciate. Also want to say thanks to Michael Sweeney, who is new member number 17 today, and Alexandra Metzger, who is new member number 18. Okay, I am being notified that it could be a very long time until the Honeywell thing, if it indeed happens. So I think there's no way I can hang for 90 minutes. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to end this stream now. I'm going to monitor Trump's schedule while I work on tomorrow's program, because the show continues. And then I'll be back if this event ends up happening. We saw some stuff. Glad folks joined me. Thank you.